Exactly. Learning is good evening, everybody. Sorry, we're a little couple of minutes. We was fixing my hair. I had to do it myself because the hairdressers was shut. And to try and get Matthew to stop dancing. He's got a wee thing now for dance. So I don't know why, you know. It must be a USA thing. Who knows? But welcome along anyway. To Nicole, Sarah, Sam, and Kat's in. Kat's a lovely woman. I was on her radio show the other night. Absolutely lovely lady. So thanks for coming in. And we've got Tim from Ghosted UK back with us again. You remember Tim from his last time through. Very interesting chap. If he can stop dancing as well, that'd be quite good. Well, I did what you know. I had the crumbs cast on singing.
Are you jealous? No, there we go. All right, Jen, your turn.
Dance.
Come on, Jen.
Yes.
I just do a wee.
All right.
There we go. There we go.
That good?
That's professional. That's cheating. That's professional.
Arrow, she's been practicing. She's definitely been practicing.
Not
So,
not for years.
Andy Murray's joined us, Jillian's joined us as well, and Laura. I don't know, Sam and Laura are part of our team as well, but they're having a wee night off tonight. So we are doing the legwork. Penny as well. Evening to everybody who's come in. Wayne as well. Hope you're all great. Robin's here as well. Excellent. We're filling up quite nicely tonight, guys, and Jennifer. So since we last met, and I need to keep saying Jennifer because you might think I'm sexist or something, and I'm not. You know,
you're not. It's not offensive, I promise you.
Okay, guys. I'll just say guys. That's it. You know, across the board.
Just say guys.
So we're happy to announce that now both our teams, Paranormal History USA, have now been accepted into Para Unity, and Tim is one of the kind of bosses of Para Unity, and so is Robin. Well, your boss, it's he's part of it as well. Is that better? He's part of it as well. So I'd like to get Tim just to tell us just a wee bit about what Para Unity is about.
That's basically to get all the teams together around the world to share information, about the equipment and help each other. That's the main thing. And they're like little chatter boxes, trust me. And that's the whole idea. It's just get everyone together and share information. Some teams are going out after lockdown to go investigating together and share, tips, and especially the smaller teams that have just started, help them develop to, start their own teams, set their own groups and things like that. That's basically what it is. Para Unit is a thing of itself. I've explained this a bit before. I say me, Robin, and Cal thought of the idea, and the girls are pushy on it. But that is a brilliant idea, and so far it's been really good. But Para Unit is its own thing. It's something that you can't take advantage of. You can't use it for your own benefit. It's going to be something that's for everybody. No drama is allowed. Yes, no drama. Yeah, we don't want no drama. Yeah, and that's basically it, really. I think it's a great thing. I mean, people have tried them before and failed. There's been arguments and stuff like that. But I think this time it's actually worked. I mean, I've never been in a Para Unity. But another thing, what I said ages ago, if you've got a group, which a lot of us have, you get a load of trolls, you get people wanting to sell stuff, and we try and communicate through people that should be blocked, because as we know with Facebook, they're bloody useless. They'd rather block you than anything, or ban you for sharing something. So that's a good thing, I think, and we need to do more of that, I think, because we get a lot of fake accounts and things like that, and I think if all the groups together combined share the information, then we can block these people, because there are some nasty people out there, rude. And Facebook doesn't seem to do nothing. But with the groups combined as a force, we can block them all. That's partially what my idea was at the beginning as well, is to be a force to reckon with together. Togetherness is the big thing, and especially with lockdown at the moment, with people saying borrowing guests to go on another show, or can you pop on here, and it works. If we stick together and do it like that, I think that's a brilliant thing. And the more teams that come together, the more powerful force we are, so to speak, as a community. Someone's mic's so that's basically it, really. To help others, that's the thing.
I think it's a wonderful idea. I mean,
I think
because we all have to work together, but separately at the same time.
Well, yes, people do their own thing, admittedly, but there's nothing wrong in helping another teammate.
No,
I can't.
That's what I'm saying. We work together, but we work separately. It's a mutual, but it's a way. But like you said, it's a way to weed out the bad apples. And because, as you know, it doesn't matter what side of the Atlantic you're on, there is drama.
Yes.
The less drama, the better.
Yes, I think if you're going to be a team that's love the drama and hint at this person or hint at that person, where is that paranormal? Where is that to do what we do? I mean, I think the majority of teams out there want to just go out and investigate or ghost hunt or whatever. I think that's in your blood. That's something that you've got an amazing, say, a castle or an old house that's supposed to be haunted, and you've heard all these stories, and you go in there as fresh as how can I say, as bait. You're going in and you get the goosebumps, you get the feel of the location. You think, oh, this is going to be, and just as you get there, you feel something. It's going to be amazing. Like, maybe it doesn't happen, but that's that feeling you get, and it gets in your blood. That's what paranormal. And being honest as well, not faking and exaggerating the evidence and going, oh, this is a spirit just walked across here, when you knew it was your friend walked past. Just be genuine about it. And I think if we can do that, then I think that'll be a great thing. I mean, we're doing it, and hopefully that'll go further into something better. People come up with ideas of things to do. But the whole thing is Parryton is his own thing. It's not Ghosted UK. It's not other teams. It's not Paranormal History. It's its own thing, and we can be part of it, if you know what I mean. That's the most important thing.
In other words, we can learn from each other.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's people. Some people don't like being, I think you should have done this, that, and the other. And people think, what do we know? Bog off, But because people have their own ways, and you accept that. But it's something you might learn. Even myself, I've learned things from other teams. I've done something. I thought, well, that's a good idea, and so forth. When we started, I should start doing chats, and I did notice a lot more teams doing chats straight after when we got the lockdown, and I think that was a way forward for us to do something for the paranormal community than just doing nothing. And you can't go anywhere because Scott would know that over here we couldn't yourselves.
That's the reason we chose last year. I was in August time to go down the interview road, because you say, Tim, it was either do that or let your channel just sit idle, do nothing.
Dormant. Yeah.
I'm just going to go to some of the comments. Sarah says that we're not live on Facebook, but if anybody's watching on Facebook, can they let us know? Sarah says we're not live on Facebook, but according to my screen, we are live on Facebook. as well. Andy Murphy's got a question there. What is the criteria for para-unity for a new group on the block?
Oh, what is the criteria? Well, you've got to have either a page or a group, preferably. You can even be a fresh group, you know, a new group that you started, as long as it's paranormal type thing. We've had up certain mediums come on as well, got their own little, that sort of thing, really. That's all you need. As long as you've got your own group or page and that's paranormal related, then you're quite welcome to join. Simple as that. And we will check you out. But yeah, there's certain people try and get in every time and they're not wanted and they know that, but they do try, trust me, on the different names. But we watch, you know, that's what we're there for, just to keep an eye on it, make sure, as you know, certain people keep out. They know who they are. But we do that. I mean, there's certain there's certain teams that have joined. I ain't going to say who they were at one time that we thought we're not too sure because they are very drama, and I thought, well, that's going to cause an argument. But we have let them in, and then had no problem with them. You know, they've been good. People do change their ways, and I think that's another thing you got to look at. Well, you know, people change their ways, so why not? You can't just diss them every time. People do change. You know, people make mistakes. I've done it. Everyone's done it. So you know, but yeah, as long as you've got a paranormal group or team, or even a YouTube channel, paranormal related, anything like that, you're quite welcome to join.
As Ellen says, there's a lot of backstabbing going within the paranormal community. She's right. There is a lot of backstabbing. You know, because I think we've talked about this before and many times before about people trying to get, you know, one up on other groups. You know, trying to be better than other groups. And at the end of the day, that's not what the paranormal's about.
Definitely not.
We're all here to help each other, you know, advise each other, or even just to talk to each other.
Yes.
Especially during these times, when not just this country, but everywhere's, you know, in the same boat, basically. We need to be there for it. Rather than stab each other in the back, we need to be there to have each other's backs.
Yes,
that's the way I look at it. You know,
Rob.
Well, there's a few groups out there with a para-unity name out there. We run completely different than just a group. We can tell who we are by our logo. But that's true. I spoke to you earlier on today, Tim, about that other thing, and you know, of course, there's more than
people will try and there's been teams before try to set up a para-unity. Good luck to them, you know, if that's what they want to do. And some people try and copy what we do, which is fine. Good luck to them. I ain't got no problem with that. But we are just us. And if you got the logo on, then you know normally some teams don't want the logo on. That's fair enough. You don't have to. You're not forced to have the logo on. It's just recognition that you belong to para-unity. And like I said, para-unity is its own thing. It's not, you don't belong to us or me. You're not me, or Robin or Kelly. You're not. That's not a belonging to any of us. It's its own thing. You know, something that's there, and that's up to us whether we want to use it or not. It's entirely up to you. If you don't want to share or chat or anything like that, then that's up to you. We wouldn't force you to. Oh, come on, Scott, give me the secrets. What's the latest gossip? We're not forcing you. We're going to take your badge away if you didn't.
The right amount of cash, I might consider it, you know, but I need perhaps a wee compliment for Sarah and I. It's really been great help. Andy and his good lady Custody, they're just starting out with their group, Yorkshire Ghost Hunters. I might get your name wrong, Andy. I'm just used to calling you Andy. I think it's North Yorkshire Ghost Hunters, stuff like that. And they're just starting. But Andy's a great guy. So's his good lady as well. I'm trying to get through. Sarah usually does the comments, you know. But
I've got a question. I've got a question there. Can I? Who was that? Who just up there? Forgot. You just put his comment up. Andy, sorry. brain freeze. I was going to say, what is that about Yorkshire and paranormal? They love it, don't they? There's so many teams from Yorkshire. I don't know if you get that in America, like one area. It's like there's a big love for the paranormal, which is amazing. I think it's brilliant, and it's just like a lot of teams from Yorkshire, which is amazing. I think it's a brilliant. I don't know what it is. It must be the tea.
Cat has made a good cut, and I've heard this said so many. I've heard so many people claim to be experts in the paranormal, and it's something that really.
I'm no expert.
You know.
I think it's partly to do with the TV. I've been called an expert in magazines and stuff, and I said I'm no expert, but they'll still put it in, and I think that's where it's got cottoned on from.
It becomes a selling point instead of actually what the truth is. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and TV as well. We've got a team of experts. Paranormal. There's no such thing, like you say. It does not exist.
But on TV, they do that because it sounds good, and then it gets.
It sounds.
It's part of the marketing.
Yes, it's part of the part of your contract mostly. You've been told.
I mean, what you might get is, or what you usually get is maybe somebody says he's been into the paranormal for 20 years. And we'll get somebody who's been into the paranormal for 3 years. What person of more experience in the paranormal, you know, but they're not an expert. So to me, there's a big difference. And what people tagged it. To me, it's a tag. But I know Shelley came in there as well, and Angela came in as well. So good evening to you. I don't think I've missed anybody else. If I have, I'm in trouble. You know what I mean? If I have, I'm in big trouble. No, but party unit is I mean, we've been at a party for now, but just about a week. And you know, you've got the chat room, and everybody makes you feel that welcome. You know, and it is just like one big kind of family, basically. And that's so. All right, RPI came in as well. Sorry, Alan, I just saw you there on the. See, Sarah usually does all this kind of thing. I just saw Alan pop up there on the screen, so my apologies for that. And Chaos, he's just popped in. He's a wee bit late, but we'll forgive Chaos for being a wee bit late. But no, it's a good idea having the para unity plus for new teams starting out. I mean, we're still relatively new as well. You know, we've only been going up 6 months, so we're still relatively new. It's a good place for people to go and talk to other people who have been in the paranormal, you know, for a longer time, and maybe get some tips, some advice off them, and what have you.
Exactly. That's all. That's what you know. I've been doing it for, God, I suppose on and off for now 30 years or more, or whatever. I daren't say it. I hate saying it because I feel old. I've been doing it for 6 months, honestly. But I'm still learning. I do things what I do, which I think might work, and it doesn't. As always, and I always had a thing where a pattern where I like to be a bit OCD. I am a bit OCD, so I like to think of, you know, a certain way I'll do something, and I think, right, so this is like portals, for instance. They, you know, there must exist because I've seen things and on cameras going in and out a certain position, and just as when I think I've got it sussed, it all changes again. I thought, oh no, that idea, and I have a theory about something, and that just changes again. That's blown out of the water. It's not that theory. Or I change it to, I've got a theory, so I can get it all. I used to write down stuff like, what questions do you ask the spirit? So if, you know, if someone asked me what sort of questions would you ask them, and I'd have a list, so I could teach people to. So I'm self-teaching myself to teach people. So it had to make sense, and I've changed that about 50 times because I put that in mind. So, you know, it always changes. You just don't know, you know. I think there's more to it than there is. and I think there's still a load of secrets to give up. Many secrets. All the equipment I've got, thousands of pounds worth. It's still your basic, not once for yes, twice for no, or a little EVP recording. Works. Get more evidence out of that than you do of anything else. Whatever you use, I could use some sort of, laser grid and all that, but it don't make a difference when you're getting an actual full communication through Knox. It beats it all, because when you ask a spirit, for instance, we had a spirit called Margaret. And the same we done, I think, with Arthur Lowe. We asked them how many people are in the room. That's one of the questions we use, and that not six people in the room or 8 people in the room, whatever it was. Then we ask them how many males are in the room. Not two males. And how many females in the room? Not. When you get in communication like that, oh, did I get echo then? When you get communication like that, that's just amazing. That beats anything you can think of, because it's just it makes it more, gives you the evidence. This is, that it's there. This is happening. It's quite shocking for me even now, after all this while, things I've seen, good God, and heard. It still shocks me. I'm still amazed by it. It's just trying to prove it to people that there's more to it than what people, what you see.
Well, Tim, when you're out there investigating, do you find that there's certain people that will, or certain spirits out there will address a person more than another person? Like, say someone starts the conversation and they're getting nothing, and as soon as somebody else starts speaking, all of a sudden that person's getting all the answers. I've known for a fact that when that happens, we just let that person continue, and the person who had started, they just kind of shut up. So have you had that experience? Yes.
They take a liking to a certain person. For instance, we done a charity event once, and the young lad, I knew from experience investigating the location before, that this lady took a fancy to younger men. So I knew that when we done the event, hopefully I sound a bit strange, but hopefully we get a young man at the event that we can demonstrate this. and it worked. Yes, she wouldn't speak to me, she wouldn't speak to anyone else, but if you're under 21 or 22, she liked you and she would talk to you. And the weird thing is, that night he'd never been, this chap had never been to an event or nothing like that. He's interested in people, but he's just so interested in it. That night we all heard it as well, called his name, so you could actually hear it, and it said his name, this lady. And he went white. He did go white as a goose, and he was in shock. He was like this. And to that was amazing, because that would only speak to young. If I was a few years younger, I even tried, cut my hair a bit, cut my toenails. No, but it's strange, isn't it, that a certain person, and they remind people. I think they remind people of the past. So maybe she, like I say, she liked younger men in the past when she was alive, and though she's passed, she still fancy young men. So it ain't changed. She ain't changed. It didn't sound like she's changed her ways.
That's
and
right.
it happened twice. Yeah. That happened twice in the same certain room it was called St George's Theatre, which used to be an old church before the theatre. I think it dates back to 14th, 13th, no, it might have been 14th, 15th century, might have been a bit later. And so, yeah, there's certain where they get changed to go on stage. It's only a small room. That's where she is, this lady. And she certainly liked young men.
Young men in the kingdom.
So, Scott, you and I are out.
I'm way out. Thanks for reminding me of that, Matthew. You know what I mean? You and I shall talk later. I mean, yeah. I need to talk to Sam later as well for a comment she made earlier on. Couple of questions for you, Tim. Two for Chaos and one for Andy. I'll get them up here for you. But I'm not out by many years, Matthew. Just a couple, not much. Do you all think that newcomers are self-manifestations, the spirits themselves?
Who's that to? Do you think?
Anybody?
I think it's everybody.
Why don't you take that one, Tim?
Oh God, do you think that newcomers are self? I don't quite get it. Sorry, just chaos.
I think I know where. Let's see. Do you think
newcomers? What do you mean by newcomers? As in
people new to the paranormal?
Oh, new to the paranormal.
I think that's what he's mean.
Oh, right.
I think you mean are they being? I don't get it. Self-manifestation.
Causing it themselves.
Put their own self into it. Are they projecting to it? Is that what you're talking about? Because that's how
that's possible. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's true. It is possible. Yeah, I think just because you're new to the being a paranormal vessel, ghost hunter, yeah, they could manifest in front of you. If that's what you're saying, definitely, yeah. There's no reason why not. This lad, like I said, had no paranormal experience whatsoever, and this lady spoke to her, and we all heard it. So there's no reason for it to. I think I've seen people have actually seen a full apparition, and they don't know nothing about the paranormal. They could show themselves, whether that's possibly family or someone from the past, because they could, they could show themselves.
Yeah, that's one way. Unless you interpret the question this way, if you think the newcomers are if they're a reflective of themselves, as in the newcomer in there is the spirit or reflective of themselves. I'm not sure. I mean, that's another way to interpret that statement.
Reflecting them themselves. They can mimic you. That's for sure. They can mimic you.
Yeah.
They even answer before you even. Before you say the word, you say no. They already said no before you. I've had that before. And that's not your voice. It's someone else's voice. Because I've had a lady answer before I've said anything, or one of the girls, a bloke's answered before the girls answered, which is odd. So they've already heard the question answered before you answered. Just weird.
No, definitely. Or a newcomer comes into it and they think they saw one of their own teammates go across, and it wasn't one of the teammates at all because the ghosts were playing with them.
Yes.
Or I read it more as newcomers are seeing things that are not actually happening, but because they want it so bad.
That's true.
Okay, so there's several ways to look at this question.
Yes. That's okay. Yeah, it's nice to have the question.
In the chat, Chaos was saying it's easier to say than to type.
I think I know. I would say, if you're a newcomer to paranormal, you're all kind of hyped up, so your imagination can kind of take over sometimes, and you can see something that you think you see something that's not there. I hope that answers your question, Chaos. Andy's got one as well. Have you ever gone through auditory tests? Sometimes I feel knots can be generated within your own head.
Have you ever?
Yes, I know what that is.
Who's answering that one?
I can take it because knocks being generated in your own head, where you think you've heard something, or perhaps something has happened enough to where some people believe that you're able to generate that energy, and then the knock actually came because you generated it. So there's so many ways to answer this. There's no right or wrong answer with this with this one. But yeah, because sometimes I guess you could say that they're wondering if you can actually generate your own self, as in you have enough energy to put out there into the world that now you've heard it yourself. Maybe there's also, if you take it one step further, did you put enough energy that you caused that knock? Did you cause that to say something? That's how I'm interpreting this. So
there's the man himself, Chaos.
Sorry for looking so pink, guys. I got one monitor that just is pink, and it just kind of reflects on me. So this is not my real color. Believe me, I'm not an Oompa Loompa or anything.
You ain't sunburnt, are you? Just sunbathing.
I guess the question I was trying to ask is if you're new getting into the paranormal, you're just starting out, you're excited because you see everybody. Oh my God, did you see this? Did you catch that? Did you see it on film? Did you hear this? And somebody new to it, do you think in their own mind that they're hearing things or seeing things because they want to believe that these people have actually seen it? I can see it too.
Yeah.
So in your own mind, you draw that picture of they're there, even though they're not.
It's I think with new. You don't mind me answering this? Sorry, I jump in. It comes to my head, so I have to. I'm like a spirit playing up with a medium. Once they come in, they have to. Anticipation, innit? And the excitement and adrenaline running, and you can see. I think you see things that probably wasn't there, and people will be finding private investigations. You got high EMF, electromagnetic fields, and they're so high that can cause hallucinations and things like that. So you have to be careful. But yeah, if you're so excited, if you're looking in the shadows in a black dark room, and you're looking there, and then you might think you might have seen something. Your imagination can run wild there. And then you say, "Oh, something moved quick." Then they all go, "Woo!" And then off they go. I've been there and I've seen people do it. I've seen a 6'4" Royal Marine run out of a building before. There was nothing there, and he was near enough in tears because he thought he saw someone. But I think I don't think there was nothing there at all. He just scared himself.
Just his imagination. Chaos, you asked another question. Are spirits more prone to fancy a medium than just an investigator?
Oh, that one.
Who's answering that? Me?
No, I'm going to chime in.
Anybody that can answer it would be fantastic.
I don't think so. I don't think so because between mediums and investigators, we go about things very differently. And I think mediums maybe attract, I just contradicted myself, possibly mediums draw in a different source because of how they go about it compared to us investigators who go about it in a different way. The mediums aren't using EVPs and video and audio, and all the other tricks and tools that we use. So I think it's two different skill sets.
And I understand that. I guess the reason why I was asking a question like this is, are they more prone to a medium because a medium can feel them?
I think it
can sense them, can talk to them, and just somebody who investigates can't do that. So that's why I was asking: are they more drawn towards a medium in the sense of maybe they want help, or is it the sense of they just want to go towards somebody who's investigating just to give them a thrill?
Both. It really depends on the spirit, the ghost, the entity that you're dealing with. Some of them want it to go with someone who has more of that realm of the medium. Sometimes it's the investigator because, like, wait a minute, that investigator reminds me a lot of me when I was around. So they'll start going after that investigator. So it really depends. Honestly, I think it depends on however you want to call it, ghost, spirit, entity. because there's times where I've heard the audio and I've had something follow me around getting my attention. I will never ever claim to ever be a medium, but there was one time I felt like I was a medium on that case because it wouldn't leave me alone and until I answered its questions. So
the curiosity got the best of you.
It did.
They love if it's a certain person. Remember me saying about that lady who liked young men. You see, though we had mediums there, we also had paranormal investigators there, but she was more interested than the young lad. She wouldn't speak to anyone else. They tried. We all tried talking to her. She didn't want to know, but he's not even a paranormal investigator, so. It's the young lad's just on an event. He's just there to experience, and he certainly got experience that night because we all heard her voice, and that was right near his level, the voice as well, and he was startled.
You see the woman over my shoulder there in the picture?
I can see some sort of blue bird thing.
No.
His picture on the screen. The lady in his.
That's Shadows of the Moon. I hope sometimes that maybe you guys get to go and see her, and I wish she wouldn't be so nervous, bashful, shy, whatever the hell you want to call it, to come up and talk about stuff like this, because she's the one that's actually got me to the point where I am at now. She's very well knowledge, cryptids, paranormal, UFOs, cryptology. I mean, but she has a show, and this is the reason why I come up with some of these questions. Is this is how she's taught me to analyze, research, focus. Don't let your self-indulgence imagination run away from you, because when you do, then you lose focus on what you're really looking at. And sometimes I feel like maybe that's where newer investigators, I should say, go wrong. They're thinking of, well, all right, this group just investigated this place and they had all this activity, so we're going to go in there and we're going to get the same thing. That's not how it's going to work. I've heard many investigators say time and time again, we can go into a place for 72 hours and not get a thing. But then you'll get a group that comes in behind them within a couple hours, they have activity. Now, does it draw off the energy of the people that are in there, or is it, I mean, do you understand what I'm trying to ask?
Yep.
Yeah. I'll just jump in. I think that's what I've experienced after all these years is a connection. It's something they're connected to. So if you've got this connection to spirit, whether you're a medium or a person or an investigator, whoever you are, you've got that connection with the spirit when you go in there. They're drawn to you. And I think that's why you can get the evidence you can. I don't think we'd got as much evidence as we've got over the time if we didn't have a connection. I really don't. I think we'd have got bits. I mean, I've known paranormal investigators, been investigating 10, 15 years or so, never captured one EVP, not one. Why didn't they get an EVP? You know, they never see nothing, they never hear nothing. And with things like that, I think you've got to have that connection. And I was saying, we won't get the knocks we get. I don't think we had the connection with spirit. I think, I think it's something about you that you're lucky to have that gift of some sort. I'll call it a gift because I think I don't know where it's come from and why we got it. And I think that's important, that you have someone who's got a gift with you.
I think we're born with that gift, but we're never taught how to use it.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Yes. I think everyone's somehow's got this gift to communicate with them, or they'll come forward to them. That's why you hear people say, I saw my mum at the end of the bed the other day. What? Yes. She just sat there talking to me, whatever. Everyone think, well, Wow.
Okay, now you say something like that. Now, in my mind, in my eyes, I saw my mom sitting at the end of the bed the other day. To me, that could just because at that point in time you're missing your mom. It was the separation that happened suddenly. She's gone. You didn't get to say your goodbye. But in your heart, in your mind, you want to be able to talk to her again, so you do see her.
Well, it could be, but then there's cases of people 10 years later see their mum stand at the end of the bed. I've seen someone, an old friend of mine, just standing down the road, just solid, looking like me, saying solid, not a white figure or nothing, just standing there. But that was when they passed. I see them as they pass. I wasn't even thinking of the person at the time. And the weird, strange thing is, these events are witnessed by others. So, they said, who are you talking to? Oh. Or someone's seen something that's similar at the same time. But these could be 10 years on. But like you said, they can happen. Some people, I think, have, that emotion.
Anxiety.
Yeah, well, because you could just lost someone, you're going to be upset. You can. Some people are on tablets and tranquilizers and all sorts, which is understandable. They've had a big loss, and they think they saw someone. But there's been so many cases when, especially in hospitals, even the nurses have seen someone. Hello, how are you? Why don't you get that person in bed? Well, they should be. They'd already passed. They didn't know it.
Scott,
they saw him.
I'm going to give Scott back his show, I'm sorry I overstepped you, Scott, but there's so many interesting questions that can come up that it could take your whole show, and I'm not going to do that because this is your show.
All right, fine, but you're totally welcome to come up, my friend. That's what our lives all about. It's about asking questions and learning, and whether you're on the panel or in the chat, that's what it's all about. And as we said about Para-Unity earlier, it's about learning from each other. If you've got a question, ask it. If somebody can answer it, then
anytime I ask a question for the panel, it's not directed at anybody indirectly, but if anybody can answer it or give it a shot or something to appease what my mind's thinking, that's fantastic. I understand there was confusion on that question I was asking earlier, and I get that, and that's why I said it's easier to say it than it is to try to type it.
If we had all the answers, we wouldn't be here. This is the thing.
If we had all the answers, there would be no paranormal.
No, that'd be it. Turn to page 4. It's all there for you. There you go.
Yeah, and the whole book's only 6 pages long, so.
But we didn't have the questions, then we wouldn't have our theories and ideas.
Well, like Shadows just said, I heard her in the other room because she hears me talking to you. She says that if we knew it, then it would be boring.
That's
True.
Exactly.
I just wish we had all the answers.
Actually, no, we don't wish we had all the answers because once you find out all the answers, it's over.
Well, yeah, true. I think certain, like you said, certain questions. I think we all want. I think certain people, admittedly, want some answers. They want the answers of what's going on. Validation of whatever. Are we going? Where are we going? Are we going nowhere after we pass, or are we going down? Being buried out, buried somewhere, and that's the end of it, or is there another life to it? Is this a carrier? I think certain people want the answers.
I can actually go a different road on the road that you just talked about. Like when I die, do I go this way or that way or anything? I don't believe that we die. Our physical being dies. Our soul carries on. And I believe there are many realms our soul just moves to, and we keep living. I do not believe that there is infinite death. I do believe that you will keep going. You'll just have a different memory as you go along.
And I think it's a wonderful thought. That'd be brilliant.
No, look, That actually brings me when he was saying all that, it reminded me of the book called On a Pale Horse by Piers Anthony. It's all about a guy who accidentally becomes the next Grim Reaper. And when he goes and it brings the souls back, he has to separate them to where they think their afterlife is, whether it's Buddhist, whether it's this. I mean, he goes through all this stuff, collecting all these souls for the afterlife, and then that's what the book explains it. And the one that I found was interesting was he went to go collect an atheist, and he pulls it out, and it just poof disappears. Anyway, my point is, the book I thought was the best explanation I have ever seen a fiction writer explain a possibility of how death might actually be. Not necessarily that it is how it is, but I really like that explanation. And I use that for other people who don't understand. And then they kind of go, oh, and then it generates a conversation. And I love that conversation as it keeps adding and adding and adding. So, yeah.
And what's the name of that book?
It's called On a Pale Horse.
On a Pale Horse?
On a Pale Horse by Piers Anthony.
All right, I'm gonna have to look into getting that book done because that sounds pretty interesting.
It's a really good book. It's just out of all the book, yes, it's a fictional book, but it talks about how he's the new Grim Reaper and what he has to do as the Grim Reaper. That's what that out of all the book, that's the only thing that I can remember.
The most important part about it, though.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you for answering my questions. You guys are amazing. I mean, I've listened to you guys through their channel before, maybe not all at one time. I've seen you individually talk with them, and you guys just always have positive input and great answers that help me understand things a little differently.
Well, thank you, Chaos.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to talk to my buddy Eddie. Always, even though he's a bit pinky today, but we won't go into that side. You know, he's got a great talk about it. He's been on this, but we'll have a wee look at the chat, folks. There's a few comments. Gillian Daniels made one earlier on, which is quite true. What annoys me is there are vast places need investigation, but so many go to the same place. I don't know what it's like over in the USA, guys, but I know over here that is certainly quite true.
It is over here too, Scott. We got Waverly Hills, and there's group after group after group that goes to Waverly Hills. But people got to understand each group is going to have a different kind of energy. One group might not get anything. Another group might get something. This group here might get physical touch. This group might not. It all depends on the energy of the crowd that's there.
A lot of those things get overshadowed, I would say, because they see it on TV. So they're like, okay, they did it. Now we want to go do it. And then the places, like you said, Waverly, they actually, it's not that they sell the ghosts. They just go, okay, we'll bring people in. Right now they're not, obviously, but that's what it comes down to. Is like these places get generated on the information, just like when Scott and I were talking about the Stanley Hotel. They used to do that a lot, and they used to have a ghost page completely dedicated to all the paranormal, but now that's actually not as big. But those places are constant. They're okay, I want to go here, I'm going to go here only because I saw it. Oh, now they're talking about it, so now we have to do it. So all those other places that should also be attended to, whether historical or not, are being left behind.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of places other than what's popular to be investigating, and I have to agree with the comment or the question. Is there's plenty of places to investigate, spend time in, do the history on. We don't all have to be going to the same places all the time.
Exactly. We focused in the past a lot on Pendle Hill, and we are doing, as you know, we're doing a Forgotten Pendle next month, which I'm not telling anybody about. But one of the reasons we're doing it is because when people go to Pendle Hill, they do tend to go to the same locations, you know, Lowell Head Farm, Sadler's Farm, Newchurch, etc. So there's a lot of places that aren't actually focused on that people probably drive by every day and don't even give them a second look. You know,
I think a typical. Sorry, I just say
Carry on,
the typical example, I think, of over investigating or over ghost hunting. It's 30 East Drive. That's booked 7 nights a week. What it was, you know, and they charge so much, and that's just heavily people in and out, in and out. It's like a bus, you know, like a tour. I think in and out, in and out. They might just open the front door and then open the back door. They come in and just go through the other. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. It's something that I suppose like the Amityville, isn't it? I suppose somewhere like that in America. I don't know if you can go around there and pay so much a night. I don't know. Or is that private now? I don't know.
Yeah, over here, usually to do an investigation over here, you got to have months of advance booking. You got to have so much down payment and all this other stuff.
Mhm.
You can't just walk up there one night and be like, okay, I want to investigate here. It doesn't work like that.
The only ways you can do that
Yeah.
is if you're doing a private investigation at, as like, say, a historical hotel. You can do an investigation. Mind you, you have to pay rent or, you know, get the room for the night or rooms that you're going to do, and just make sure that you're keeping it on a down low, so that way they're not going to get upset and kick you out. So there are ways to do it without having to spend a lot of money. But
Yeah, it's kind of cheating the system, but it's not really cheating the system.
Unfortunately, that's the only way we can.
I agree that I was agreeing with you from right out the gate. It was just like,
No, I agree, because example, Alcatraz, great place, but in order to investigate it, you have to fork out the money. And in order to fork out the money, you also have to get on the list, and it's called a lottery. So you got to be lucky enough to be chosen to be able to investigate Alcatraz.
and even though you paid the money for the lottery, that doesn't mean you get your money back.
Correct.
It's a hit or miss situation when you do something like that. If you don't mind, I just looked at chat and I seen Margaret Kendall. She says the Grim Reaper to me is family and spirit ready to take you to an area meant for you. And I kind of agree with that. The Grim Reaper isn't here to cause you death because you're already dead. The Grim Reaper to me is a guide. He will walk you or guide you to where the area is you're supposed to go. Everybody thinks the Grim Reaper is the master of death. No, he's just there to collect the soul of the person that already died.
I agree. I actually do agree on that one.
That's I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I meet him.
True.
Same,
Shadows just said it's kind of like Anubis from the Egyptian War.
Can I just say I will be putting up a battle. I will be taking weapons when he comes.
It's more publicity if it's well known, and a lot seem to copy. That's Angela Sarah's mum, and she is, it is more publicity if I go to a well-known location. And unfortunately, there are copycats out there, but you know, there's nothing we can do about them at the end of the day, really. I dare say you get them everywhere, no matter where you go. Sam's made a comment, if I can get it up, there it's there.
Yeah, can I just say hi to Carol, Wayne, and Robin, Margaret. I just know these people. Margaret, Shelley. Sorry about that. I did say I promise I'd say hello. I've done it now. Now it's a tenner you owe me.
Hi folks, thanks for coming in. Everybody's welcome. It's when the spirit mimic your voice was the intelligence of them. What do you think of that one, Matthew?
It's when the spirit mimic your voice shows the intelligence of them. Well, I hope they're not showing the intelligence of me, because no, I don't think so. The spirits could possibly show their intelligence of themselves, no matter if they're mimicking you or they're using their own voice or another entity's voice. Now, we've all been tricked by entities, spirits, ghosts, as Jen puts it. So I I don't agree with this statement. Jen, what do you think?
Me.
Yeah, you.
Well,
You're
like,
Jim.
wow, okay, throw me in.
My name's Eddie.
No, because I was thinking because I've had some that were intelligent and did mimic me, but then again, they were also the jokesters of the
Right.
paranormal world, and then I have those that mimic, which didn't seem to show any intelligence at all. They were intelligent, but not like intelligent. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like
No, it
sometimes.
does.
Well, even though they might have been dead, who knows, 100 years, and they were an adult when they died, sometimes they sound like a small child and not a very understanding whatever. And then you get ones that are very intelligent, and then they know how to mock you, tease you, taunt you, or conversate with you in a very intelligent way. So it kind of
Right.
goes both ways.
And that's
Hello,
basically
everyone.
what I said. It's kind of I said it in a different way, but well, if you think about history, back in the 14th, 14th, 15th, 16th, even the 17th century, people were not educated.
What are you kidding? They still ain't educated today.
So, then you got today, you got really dumb fucks. Oops, sorry.
Oh.
Wow.
Did you just say the F word there?
That just came out so natural too.
Imagine you say-
He's just like he's just dumb
Three
fuck.
parts of food, it's so much easier.
I think we're all adults here.
Scott, your show just went from PG-13 to rated R.
Matthew's language
What?
and his use of profanity. He won't fucking do it again.
You know
Any other
what?
ladies?
But Scott, if they were on my channel right now, that would have flown no problem. That would have been good.
I was never told it was PG.
I just got to say, I don't think you're going to heaven now. I think the Grim Reaper's waiting for you. Now you've started a war now.
They're coming for you, Matt. They're coming
Yeah,
for you.
he's coming up behind you. I just want to let you know.
Andy's asking you guys a question. Have any of you ever been tricked by something
yeah.
not of this world?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The
Unfortunately.
the biggie one is they act like they present as a child, and then they're not.
And that's the biggest thing I've always heard too. 90% of the children that you hear aren't children.
No, they're adults.
They're actually adults.
Yeah.
Of a, I'm not going to say demonic form.
No. I think ghosts, spirits, entities, as Jen says. I think they like it. They come on. There's somewhere where they don't necessarily want to be, but they're there for whatever, how long, 1,000 years, whatever. And I think they're bored. And
Okay,
they
so
like to have fun.
Okay, as you're putting it that way, then do you think maybe a spirit, like you said, has been dead for 1,000 years? Do you think maybe because nobody's talked to him, nobody's tried to communicate with him, and like you're saying, they've gotten to bored to the point where let me try something different that somebody's going to talk to me?
Yeah, I totally believe in that because I think to be a ghost that's been hanging around for 1,000 years or even 20 years, and nobody's talked to you in that amount of time, they're going to have a little bit of fun with you. Not everyone.
Exactly, and they got your attention.
Right, and not everyone. But I think there's a set of tricksters out there that
Okay,
like to
Tim?
just go, watch this.
What do you think? I want to hear Tim's. I want his.
Well, the thing is, right? Always the biggie, right? I'm going to go for the biggie here, the biggin. I'm not doing small fry. I'm doing big.
So you
How do
want
we know?
size.
Yeah, this is big. Be prepared, right? How do we know who we are speaking to? For real?
We don't.
Right? They might say, I spoke to, say, Arthur Lowe and this Margaret and all these different people and so. But are they really who they say they are?
We don't know.
Exactly.
That's what you do as an investigator. You try and ask specific
Debunk.
questions that if they're tricking you, they know. But could they be? pretended to be a certain person.
Mhm.
Possible.
See, and Margaret Kendall brought up another good one. How about dying as a child, but grow up in the spirit? I don't think your spirit grows up. If you die as a child, you stay as a child.
Oh, yeah, I agree with Eddie on this. I think if you die at, let's say 7 years old, you're not going to get to the ripe old age of 60.
No, you're going to stay 7.
Yeah.
How about this one? That yes, I agree with that, but I'm going to add one more level. So that one, say 100 years old, they were a child, right? Now they have 100 years of experience of adults and other children around them. So does their intelligence increase because of that?
I love that. That is excellent. And I have to agree with it, because I think these ghosts and entities and spirits, sorry, Jen. They hang out. They're up there shooting craps, drinking whiskey, even though it goes through them. They're up there waiting because they're in wherever this place is.
And also,
and they talk.
And also, a percentage of them are just like replays, residual energy. They're replays. A lot of evidence we capture, I believe, is something that was in there in the past, and it's just replaying. Even like sounds, like I was saying the other night, like aeroplanes.
So it's on a loop.
Yeah, and it's like a loop. How you catch it, I don't know. Why you catch it, I don't know. But a lot of EVPs we capture are just snippets, one word, or that's all you get. You might get one or two. We very rarely get a sentence. We've had. I suppose I've had.
We're not having full normal conversations. I think what you're.
Well, you can. That's when I developed the ghosted box, which is a type spirit box, and that search white noise between the white noise. So it search radio waves, but it goes through the white noise, so you won't get you won't get music on it.
I've heard of instruments like that them are not trustworthy, because them noises that you hear are actual radio stations that you'll catch a word from different radio stations as it's cycling through.
Yeah. Well, this is why we worked on it. I mean, we done a live where this spirit or ghosted box was not only telling us things intelligently. I mean, I've even said in a place, I said, we had bats in a priory, typical bats in a priory. They live in there, right? And I said to her, straight off, out of the blue, I said to her, well, can you tell me what's flying around in here? And that went, bats. Straight after, bats. And there we're coming the intelligence. If I was searching the radio, I'd probably, the chance of getting a radio station suddenly say bats, for instance, is just.
I see what you're saying.
And that's where your intelligence, you're looking for the intelligence of the answers. We've had, when I said something about me being a boss, I said something about me being a boss or something. My team hate me when I say that. I wind them up. I don't know which. Anyway, forget that bit. And I said, "Oh, I'm the boss" or something. And this lady said, the lady said, "Who's the boss?" And I said, "I'm the boss." And Natasha said, "No, you're not." And then the lady went straight after, "No, you in."
Wow.
And I've got that recorded. That's too far, We asked the colour, like you say. We were talking to the box, and I said, what was that? Something like, what was I said? This I can't remember now. But there was all sorts of. There's so many intelligent answers, and I just said, I sat there and said a joke, and then it laughed. Now, it's intelligence that we had a live one. I think Carol will remember. I can't remember at a pub, and this Ghosted Box was going, whatever. That was naming everyone in there. And I said, so can you tell me, this is the things we ask. We said something about, can you tell me who's watching? No, was it Robin? Robin said, ask her, can I ask her a question or something? Can you tell me my name or something? And the Ghosted Box said, Robin, straight after. And that was on a live recording. We were live on Facebook. So that was intelligent, all for about an hour and a half. Just honestly, it's the most amazing live I think we ever done, because it was everything was intelligent. That was saying things like "Hello, Natasha," or which is our medium, and Natasha went "Hello," and I went "Hello," and things like that. That was just. They are not voices from radio stations. This is up stuff. I mean, it is amazing when it sounds
flat out. Obviously, it's not a voice from a radio station. I understand that.
And it's all developed through white noise, and hopefully the idea was to we got all sorts. We got crystals in. I've got all sorts of different things. I'm using IT and stuff like that. And the idea. Yeah, Carol was there. Yes, the pub named Folk, and yes, I was not there, but it said my name. Yes, I said it was things like that. I was saying, who, like Robin. I said, who's the because I call Carol and Robin. I think I swear I said something about Carol and Robin being Robin as Batman and Robin or something like that. And that was actually saying the name, and that's just not, when you get answers like that from questions, it's so intelligent that. What can
it's scary.
Can it be? It is scary, yes. When you get their name and people, and it said something about what's my name? It's one of the girls I think said, well, what's my name? And that said her name. And this other lady, it was weird. That was still beyond belief. When on the live, one of the questions, someone asked a question. So I asked the Ghosted Box a question about. She said, "I lost someone. Can you tell me a bit more about?" Something, and actually, I think it said the boy's name who she lost, a boyfriend or something.
I think one of the biggest things that I've encountered since I've been with Shadows, and she's got me into the paranormal cryptids and all that. She convinced me to buy all these parts, and we bought all these parts, and she built a portal box, which cancels out all the white noise, everything. So anybody that talks, it just talks directly through it. And it's actually pretty amazing. We've got some voices on it, and it's just like, no way. Did you hear them just talk? And it's really cool. So I'm still kind of shot on the white noise level, but I'm totally understanding what you're saying. I really do.
Yes. I mean, we got someone, one of our team members called Andrew, well experienced paranormal investigator. His signature tune, signature message, when he says any bye, he says Talio. He says Talio. That's what he says, right? It's like Scott, it's got maybe something he say that you might think, that he's got a signature. See you later. Like Carol does bar, like a bar word, like B-A-A-A-A. I don't know why she's got time for that. I don't know. Probably copy.
Wow, what is she? A sheep?
That's what. But that's her laughter. That's her laughter signature. I know that's Carol laughing but Andrew's Talio, right? And this spirit said he was talking or whatever, and he said, "Oh, tally ho, Andrew." Things like that. And he's like, "What?" And they've even said it when he's not been there as well. How's Andrew? Tally ho. And things like that before, when he's not even been there. How would it know? It's all gone quiet.
No, it's just that's a lot to think about.
Yes.
All right. Margaret says, when I was trying. You want to read it, Scott?
Okay, carry on.
All right. when I was trying with spirit, I asked wrong question. I asked them to show me how they died. They stabbed me in the heart. It hurt because they were stabbed there. Be careful what you ask for. Oh, Margaret, I would definitely agree. Yes, definitely be careful what you ask for, because you might just get exactly what you ask for, instead of what you meant. I would have to agree with that statement. I don't know, but Tim, when you ask questions, do you ever get an answer that is more literal versus actually what you thought you were meaning? I mean,
what, like, be careful what you ask for?
yeah, pretty much.
Yes, you got to be respectful. As simple as that. And I think
Actually,
they know.
I don't think she's disrespectful. She's just trying to understand how she had died. And I get that.
No. I wouldn't say they were being disrespectful, Margaret, because you want to find out. But you, I think if like Margaret might not think about asking again that question because it scared her probably.
Well, if you stab me in the heart and it hurts that bad because I asked that question, I ain't asking anything close to that again.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yep.
And yeah, I was just thinking, Tim, the other way around on that one is that it may have been the right question, and that's the only way the spirit knew how to answer.
Yes. I've had pains in my chest. We were doing I think it was a live again, and we had something asked. I had pains in my chest, and we were asking something. This person came through the medium and said through Natasha about that this person had died of a heart attack, and before we knew it, that the Ovilus, I don't know, you know Ovilus. It's a machine that do the words and bits and bobs. That actually said the person's first name and their surname. We also got it, I believe, through the Ghost box as well at the same time, the first name and the last name. And I had pains in my chest. And the weird thing is, the lady turned around who was with us. She turned around and said, "Oh my God, that's my late husband." And there was things saying smoke as well. That's another word we got. And apparently he was a fireman and he died of a heart attack. And another peculiar thing with that is my wife was abed at the time and she felt that I had a heart attack that night at the same time. It's a true story.
Yeah. No,
There's two machines that recognise the first name and the medium picked the name up on, and they come through at exactly the same time because we got them set up the office. And we got.
I love when that happens because now you have the investigation mode and then you have your medium coming up with the same thing at the same time. That is amazing.
Three things, and I felt the pain in the chest.
Right, exactly. So
that would be me. And my wife felt the pain in the chest. She said, well, she dreamt, not she felt pain, she dreamt of me having a heart attack.
Yeah, Margaret, she also said that she learned how not to say one thing versus another. But in her case, she's lucky it didn't flash an image in her head, which could have also happened. It may not have been a pain in the heart. It could have been just here, I'm going to flash you a vision of how I died. Now, which is worse?
Yes. Yeah, you can feel things. Definitely, you feel things. If someone's had pain in their eyes, they've had something like they've been choked, scratches on them, you name it, that's happened. The scratches and things are very rare. They're not but the feelings, you can get emotional, upset, you can get angry, you can get, all this different feelings come through. And you can all feel it, and it's weird. You can sit there and laughing 1 minute, all laughing for no reason, and I think that's part of something to do with I don't know. It's a bit like a feeling process, I suppose. You're either going to go in happy or come out sad.
Now, I have a question actually for all of you. When dealing with that, because Tim, you mentioned scratching and all that stuff. Now, my statement would be, on personal level, I don't think it's always a negative thing, but where do you think, or why do you think these entities, or whatever they are actually poking you, scratching you? I mean, what do you think they're trying to accomplish?
I think it's for attention. I think, also a spirit will use whatever means they can to get, because I mean, my way of thinking is, at the end of the day, all a spirit wants is, so a child, all it wants is attention, acknowledgement that they're there, they're still hanging about. And so I think scratching is their kind of way of trying to, get your attention. Just my opinion.
They can haunt people as well, and they don't even know they're really doing it. They're doing it to, like Scott said, like for attention, and these people love the people as well, but they don't realise they're scaring the hell out of them. One in private investigation where I believe the occupier was this young lad fancied her. I think it just reminded him of a girlfriend or something maybe. And when I asked my ghosted box about it and said, you do know you're scaring her, and that, and guess what word we got through? Sorry. A young lad saying sorry. And again, I didn't know I was doing it. I said, you were scaring her, and he went, I didn't know. These are the exact words that came through. So to me, that's like validation of, you can buy my ghosted box for £1 million. No, I'm just joking. But it's validation again. It's validation of, you ask a question, you get an answer, and if you're responsive with the answers, that's the amazing thing. I think that's what I love anyway. Getting validation.
What do you think, Matthew?
I agree with everybody, but I think it's just a simple form of communication, not just telling a story or whatever. But it's a form of communication. They might not be able to get words out, whether it's through a ghost box or whatever. But yeah, scratches and other things, choking. It's how they communicate.
Yeah, so some are probably, like Natasha's had a mark around her neck, where she felt someone was hung there in the location. So she got this massive mark come right around her neck, blew up, right around her. So is that some sort of evidence of something in the past that's just that's drawn into it, and it didn't know for sure. You can guess at it, but you things have been thrown at people before. Was it accidentally thrown? They were thrown on the floor, or was it actually thrown at them? I didn't know if on purpose. I didn't know for sure.
Thank you, Shelley. I lived in a house before I take things and all the scary stuff that was happening. Turned out it was an old man warning us of things in the house, like faulty wiring and other things.
I believe that happens. I truly do. If y'all believe in cryptoids and all this and that, the Mothman. Everybody thought the Mothman was the one that created havoc and devastation, but he's the one that warned them that the bridge was going to collapse. So do I believe that a spirit can come and say, hey, look, something's going to happen. You need to get out, get gone, do something. Yeah, absolutely.
Some kind of guardian angel, maybe, your spirit guide, something like that as well.
In a manner of speaking, yes. That's my belief, though. I'm not as experienced as these guys are.
Now, that brings up another question. So when you go on an investigation, you go somewhere, especially if you've never been there, have any of you felt or been pushed back or told you, no, you probably should not be the one going in there? Has that ever happened to any of you?
I've been to one time at Canongate in Edinburgh. There was a very negative feel. It didn't stop me going in. but it's certainly, you know, you could feel it as soon as you entered the gate.
The energy is different.
Whether that was kind of a warning or not, I don't know. I mean, one example, what Shelley's saying there, you know, an old man warning is, I believe that can happen. It happened to me many years ago. I'll try and make it a quick story. I used to drive vans, and it was before the seatbelt law came in. I've told this story in live before. Before the seatbelt law came in, and I never, ever wore a seatbelt. There's one particular day, I was doing my run down England. I'd finished my run. I was just about to head back to Glasgow, and I'd stopped for my usual time out. And before I set off, something kept telling me, put your belt on. Just, it was in my head, put your belt on. So I did. And about 30 miles from Glasgow, I was involved in a 7-car pile-up. And the police said, if you hadn't been wearing your seatbelt, you would have been through the windscreen. So, you know, call it coincidence, whatever. I know it was a niggling thing at the back of my head to put my belt on. And possibly, I'm not saying it saved my life, but it certainly saved me from probably serious injury. You know,
and don't forget, a lot of them are good messages. We've had people to deal with money situation where they're trying to give them pointers about something to do with money, the treasure they had in a house, and things like that. They're not always bad things. They can be someone just trying to give a message. That's it. I just want to give this message about a lost ring or a lost this or something like that.
I guess the reason why... No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you're talking about feeling or about locations. I should drive near us as a bridge. I've lived there for years, and every time I go over that bridge, I feel awful. I feel really weird, awful, like a dread.
Kind of like you got a gut feeling, or you got sick on the inside.
Yeah, just inside, just feel like, oh, they just hit you like bang, you know, and you feel, oh. God. You think, well, you're going over a bridge, is that what it is? No, it's not like that. It's a straight road. It's flat as a pancake. I'm not scared of bridges or nothing like that.
It's just that particular
only some of the bridges, they're really high. But I had a dread feeling going over there. And I found out years later there was a disaster there where 30 kids drowned.
Well, there was an investigation Jen and I were on with a different team. And there was a room upstairs, and that room told me, no way, get out. And I ended up going in that room. We spent a little bit of time in there at night, and I'll never forget that night. That I should have never been in that room.
Yeah.
So,
I had the same.
It was, trust me, it was trying. But I've also, you know, like Tim was saying, I grew up in the Midwest in the United States, and there are certain places that I don't go to because I get that feeling of that
dread,
that dread and sick. You don't go in there.
It's horrible.
Or don't go there. Yeah, but, I have that too. So you're not the only one.
But as soon as you got over the bridge, I felt fine.
Yeah.
And it's always the same bridge every time. Even to this day, I still get it. I try and now I know it. I try and ignore it a bit more.
Yeah, there's certain buildings where I grew up that I can't go into because the forces are telling me don't go in there.
Yeah,
or don't even approach it. Yeah, it is.
You can't
explain it, but you can try.
Yeah.
With me, it's like someone put their hand on me and pushed me back, saying, "No, you don't go in here." And I actually go, "Okay, I'm not going to go in there." Nothing bad happened in the room or anything, but I guess they just didn't want me in there. But I never returned back to find out why. I just respected it. Going, okay, you don't want me in there. Got it. I won't go in there.
Exactly. And that's what you need to do is respect them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
If I get told to get out, I get out, unless they're nasty. But see, this is the difference when you got a case and you got a client, for instance. You promise these people you will sort this problem out. You will try your best to find out what's going on. You can't guarantee anything in the paranormal world. It's impossible. 10 years guarantee all your money back. No, buy one get one free. No, and but you know, you try and do your best. And some places I go in, and I felt with this house we hated it. We all hated going in there. We had to go in there 4 or 5 times over a period of time. You know, this is not one-off investigation, one night done. It's all sorted. Thank you very much. Right on the television, all done. Yeah, it's not like that at all. They're never like that.
If it worked like that, it'd be so much easier.
Yeah. They take many visits. I think Andrew said he done one that was done for one investigation like 40 times or something like that. It depends. But it's a long haul, and it's thinking about, you know, dedication to do it. And we hated it. We hated the place. That was a total dread feeling in there. You had to go outside for a bit to get some fresh air, because as soon as you went back in there, the dread sank, and you just felt sick, ill, headachy, and all that. And we test it for EMF readings, because high EMF is it's awful. That can make you feel ill and sick, delusional. That weren't EMF. There was nothing. There was definitely not EMF through high electricity or a pylon next door, you know. Right. But you just hated it. I didn't like it, but we got through it. We just got to get it done.
One thing a lot of people got to understand too: investigating teams that go in, especially like the ones that are on TV, like Ghost Hunter, Ghost Adventurers, all of them. Every episode you watch, they always catch something. But one thing people fail to realize is a lot of that's edited, cut out, dubbed. So every investigation that they go on, they're finding something. That doesn't necessarily mean they found it in that night. Like if it's a weekend-long investigation, we're going to start Friday night. We'll end Sunday night, Monday morning, we'll wrap everything up. And what they're doing is now they're cutting out parts and they're putting shit together. Oh shit! and they're putting stuff. Yeah. Don't point at me, Tim.
I'm just checking behind me. You might come after me now.
That just came out so natural. Like, I apologize, but it's like I mean, you got to understand. People don't understand that's how they're doing it. They're taking 3 different phases of an investigation and putting it into one. Yes. Hi. How are you?
I'm a filmmaker by trade, and I know one thing about reality TV: it's not reality.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm just saying.
So I'm just confirming with you. Reality TV is not reality.
I know. All these game shows, everything else, they're all the same, like Survivor, everything. None of that is what you think it is.
Yep. I was just on a reality cooking show as a judge. I was told it's still in a pilot stage. I was told who was going to win.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Well, fortunately, his food won anyway. So,
well, it wasn't Gordon Ramsay.
No, it wasn't Gordon. So yeah, reality TV. So all these ghost chasing shows, we could probably debunk each and every one of them. Every episode.
And that's one thing Shadows of the Moon has taught me to do. Don't go in there thinking it happened. Go in there trying to figure out why it happened.
Yep. Tim has said it a number of times during this time that, and Jen has said it, Scott has said it. A team can go in and get hit after hit after hit. The team behind them, nothing.
Exactly.
So,
I brought that point up earlier too about
you brought it up too.
One team going in after another one. This team might not have got nothing. This team gets something. This team gets a little bit more. This next team don't get anything. And I think it all revolves around the energy of the group.
It's like Tim was saying about this Margaret liking young men.
That's it.
Young men only.
Scott,
Oh, no.
don't worry about it. You're just an old goat fart. Don't worry about it. You're good.
I'm a happy man. On that note, I need to wind it up here just now, folks. Tim, I know you gave us videos, so what I'm going to do is bring you back to play those videos, if that's all right, buddy.
Yes.
The Reaper.
I
What?
like you scratching his head. This is great.
What's that?
I like
Look
drawing in
behind
your head. Questions and
Where?
things.
No, Lee, go like this, and you can scratch your head.
What? Where? What? I wasn't swearing. What do you mean? There's nothing behind me.
No. See, this is why you swear in food. It's so much easier and so much cleaner.
Yes, we were having a conversation about this.
I just want to say thank you guys for allowing me to come up on panel, ask questions, and indulge in the information. It was fantastic. I've actually learned quite a bit. And Scott, thank you for allowing me to come up and talk to them. You guys are amazing, and I hope sometime I get to talk to you guys again.
Pleasure, buddy.
My pleasure.
I just love all your enthusiasm.
I got a
what it's
lot of
about.
enthusiasm.
A lot of enthusiasm, and you need it to be into the paranormal.
Indeed, we do.
I don't.
I'll just
feel
hang
safe.
on to you now after we come off, if that's all right, for a couple of minutes, guys, if that's okay.
Yep.
All right, so we'll wind up there for now, folks. Thanks very much for coming in. Thanks very much, Tim. Always a pleasure as usual. Chaos, always a pleasure having you up, buddy. And our American team as well, Jennifer and the lovely Matthew, who I do apologise for his profanity earlier on.
See, he caused me to do profanity. It was his fault.
He said the F word.
He made me say the S word.
I must say, he nearly swore there, and that was a very close shave.
You know, I'm lost for words, folks. I can't fucking apologise enough. Sorry. So
You were
we're back
very-
tomorrow night.
I must say, Scott, you were very sharp tonight.
Yeah, 'cause he didn't say much.
Very
That's
sharp.
That's fantastic.
Scott's a hell of a good guy.
The thing is, Tim, just before we go, I was doing an interview on Parex Radio, and I get my hair all done for it, and not one of them complimented me on it.
Having your hair done.
Who are they
Not
going to
one of them.
compliment? The what?
Yeah.
How did you get a haircut in lockdown? That's what I want to know, Scott.
Because he just uses a razor to his head. No, he's been bald for friggin' months.
Yeah, but that he had a fringe, I reckon, and you had to sort of trim it a little bit.
No, he ain't got no fringe. You can see where that dome chrome glow starts. It's way back there.
You just have to accept.
We're never going to end.
You just have to accept your grey. You have to accept the grey. That's it, Scott.
Yeah, Scott. See,
Right.
accept the gray. Look, accept the gray.
In my defence, I did have a fringe when I was about 13. I had a fringe. You know,
I mean,
that was
look,
it.
I'm joking.
That sounds like we've completely derailed everything.
I know. So thanks very much. Thanks very much. Thanks very much for coming in, folks. Thanks very much for coming in. And we're back tomorrow night, 9 o'clock with 8 o'clock.
Good
Sorry,
night.
8 o'clock. Yes, take care, folks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.